Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know Albert Cameron. Albert, it's the time of year, probably our favorite 2 days, 4 days, morphs into 6 or 8. But that first couple of days when they're going from screen to screen, last second shot, buzzer beater here. Oh, no, they're out. They're dancing.
Yes, the polls are out. 4 stations will be on TV. Everybody will be turning around. That's the best part. Was trying to find out True and find
TNT, TBS, True, and CBS.
Yeah,
you have to know where to look.
Yeah, I have to look at it. I always look it up before the tournament. But one thing for sure is that the Blue Bloods up top will be favored to win it. There's about 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams that'll be favored. These other teams, their goal is to get to the Sweet 16 and Final 8. If they can get there, it's been a great year for the teams that are 6 seeds and 8 seeds like that. But George, all it takes is one game. That one upset makes up their career. That's why it's so great.
Yeah, the thing I like about it, as you say, is the upsets. But we know, don't get too carried away. Because 2.5 weeks Monday night was at least 1 blue blood and more than likely 2.
Yeah, and when you look at your bracket and when you look at the tournament, you always try to decide which team can win 5 or 6 games. That's what's going to get to the Final Four. And that means they have to win 1, 2, 3, 4 before they even think about it. And when you look at that 3rd or 4th game, you think, "Ooh, these matchups get harder." So check it out and make sure that your team you're taking can win 5 or 6 games.
Now Duke gets the number 1 and the number 1. I'm going to have something to say about the number 2 because the best number 2 is Michigan State, and they should have gone against the worst 1, which would be the 4. Yes. They get on there and they start lying. They remind me of school administrators. Just one lie comes out of their mouth after another, like, you can do that job. No, you can't teach and be an administrator.
Right.
Well, you can if you want. Well, it's Uncle Lou's kid. It's okay. Well, you're not. Well, you can if you know what I mean. The guy's lying. He's sitting there lying. Why would the best 2 go with the best 1? You don't want to fly them to Atlantic City. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's their line. It's geographic. That's one of their criteria.
Until they send Pitt or stinking Gonzaga to New York.
Yeah, they go by the first 4 seeds.
Oh.
And that's what they go by. They don't care about 5 through 16. And it's the 4 in their criteria. They're saying that Michigan State had to go to the closest, and their closest means they couldn't play somebody in their league, and that was in Duke's league.
Several billion-dollar tournament. They're saving airfare.
They end up going to Washington, D.C. Probably about a 20-minute saving on airfare.
Let's talk about Duke. They're going to play the winner of the play-in game, NC Central and North Dakota State. See, I saw North Dakota State, that nice-looking post man, had some moves, but he's doing it against 6'7" guys.
Yeah.
6'8" guys. He'll try that first time, and that big Zion will take that ball and smack it somewhere off his forehead.
Think about that. Yeah, when you go 116, you don't even
There's only been one, Tony Bennett. You leave your heart wherever you left it. You better quit.
Yeah, that was last year. So, those games are non-existent games.
They're going to spank whoever it is.
It's going to be a 30-point line.
VCU, Central Florida, you got your 8-9 because they match up next.
Yeah, and that's a toss-up. Every year, 8 and 9s are toss-ups. That's what.
Does Central Florida have the 7'5" guy?
Yes.
He's a monster.
He is a monster. He's usually
what are you doing there? He doesn't have to jump.
The VCU will press him all over the floor. That's what they'll do.
Make him run a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
VCU's been known to have 3 on the ball, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. They trap and they run all over the floor. Interesting game because they do. Central Florida has the monster inside.
How about we love Buzzy. Buzzy's a guy, Virginia Tech. St. Louis Billikens in the tournament, a little bit of an upset, but.
Yeah, well, Ford's a coach in there, and he's won at Oklahoma State, too. He took over to St. Louis, so that means he's a winner. Virginia Tech gets back Robinson, which is big. He was their best player. Now he's back. They made a jump. They'll be a really hard number 4 seed because when he was playing, they were playing as one of the top.
We like guys. Buzz.
Yes.
Mississippi State and Liberty. I'll tell you right now, Ben Howland's underrated. I think UCLA, whatever Bill Walton was sneaking around behind his back, getting them fired. How have they done since he left?
Yeah, they haven't done anything. And Holland recruits good players. He's a very good recruiter. Liberty's a nice number 12 team. Very nice. They have a nice team. I just don't know if the matchups with the Mississippi State athletes, they're going to see SEC athlete there. Boy, that can be tough.
I understand. LSU and Yale. Now, I look at that. I know LSU's athletic, but I don't care what you say when they pull your coach out. you're distracted.
Yeah, I see that as the upset. I do. I
see Yale?
I see Yale beating LSU.
In other words, they're athletic, and if people think Yale, they think of chess.
No, they got one of the top 50 players in the country going NBA in the top
All right.
2 rounds.
All
And
right.
LSU is very athletic, but Yale averages 80 a game. Yale can shoot it and can really play fast. I think this will be an 85-82 win for Yale. I think Yale's moving on as a 14 seed.
Maryland and the winner of Belmont Temple. They got Belmont Temple in a play-in.
I think they're both better than Maryland. I think they're both better than Maryland. How about that?
I'm not sure.
I think Belmont and Temple are both better than Maryland. I think
How do you
Maryland's
see
really-
that play? They're good teams for playing.
Oh, that's an awesome game. That's an awesome
That's
game.
no 15,
And that's Fran
16.
Duffy's last game. They ran him out of Temple.
They
He
ran
won,
him out
too.
of Temple?
They ran him out.
They're making a mistake.
Yeah, they did.
He won at Penn.
Yeah, they got a new coach. I mean, ex-player coming in to coach him. You know, he was a good player, but I
Sainsbury.
Yes.
You know what that means or whatever? You know what that means to me? They're going down the turlet.
we'll see what happens.
I watched Chris Mullen. I watched Ewing. I watched Danny
Those
Manning.
guys,
Mullen. It was
they can
a good-
play.
Why is he in a tournament?
That's my only. I don't like that.
He lost by 30.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's the only one I had an upset with. That's the only one I didn't like.
Louisville, Minnesota, the Patino show. You think the old man come back from Greece early to help him?
That's a toss-up game, and it should be 7-10s. A lot of times are toss-ups. Louisville played in a great conference. Minnesota in a great conference. We're gonna see the coffee kid from Minnesota is really.
You know,
really
Louisville
good.
had some halves this year when
Really
they were
good.
just ridiculous.
Yes.
But they spit the bit.
It's a good game. That game's a really good game.
How
I
about
like
Michigan
that
State?
game.
Is Bradley? Shouldn't they be 14, 13?
They'll slow the game down. Brady's going to slow the game down.
Are they a 15 now?
Yeah, they are because they didn't win their league.
Okay.
You know, when you don't win your league, you shouldn't. You have to be a 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we talk about Duke being the overall one. I'm thinking if you're using a perfect S, one should play 8.
Mm-hmm.
They should not play Michigan State in the 4th round.
Yeah, I agree. And we
they
talked about
are.
that one already. Michigan State is really good, really good. They should have been the top number 2 seed.
And they should play the 4th.
Yeah, that's right. They should
4,
have
5, 2,
Virginia
7, 3,
Gonzaga.
6,
Yes,
4.
no question.
I agree. Saying South Virginia number 1, Gardner Webb. I have a feeling between Virginia losing last year and then getting embarrassed by Florida State the other night, Gardner Webb could be in trouble.
You know what's interesting? Gardner Webb looked just like the team beat him last year. Fast. I watched him play. And Virginia has struggled with those kind of teams. I mean, those teams that aren't thinking about pattern at all,
No,
and
just
just
going
going
off the
and
bounce.
Yes.
No, I get
So
it.
it's not. Once again,
You don't like the style.
Virginia's style is tough is not tough to win in these tournaments against teams that go 1-on-1.
I got you.
My.
Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Anytime 8, 9 people flip the coin.
Yeah, we already said.
I like Lonnie Kruger, you know that, but this guy at Ole Miss, this Kermit, he's old school.
Yeah, Davis has had a great coaching year, and George Kruger's he's won. He's won in the.
Lonnie's only been to the Final Four with about 4 teams.
Should be a high-scoring game. Both teams want to get up and down the floor.
Okay.
We'll see what happens on that.
Here's
one.
your guys, but they got a guy out. Kansas State
yes, it's a shame.
versus the Anteaters of Irvine.
Well, yeah, you want to look at that one, guys. If Wade's playing, then Kansas State's going to do damage in this.
He's in a boot.
If he's not playing, they are not even 0.6 of it as good. And Irvine can beat. If Wade's not playing, Irvine can beat him for sure. If Wade, there's another upset. If Wade plays, they will not beat him. Check that out.
Here's the famous 5-12, Wisconsin and Oregon. I've heard 1 million people pick Oregon.
And I am too. Why wouldn't you? Oregon is on a roll. They're
Yeah,
playing,
it's a 5-12.
They're playing really good. Wisconsin plays that style of play that keeps them in the game.
Yeah.
Wisconsin will have trouble scoring. Oregon is really good defensively. So that's another upset. I'll look for Oregon to beat Wisconsin.
Purdue, ODU.
The line tells you that Old Dominion is not in their class with regards to firepower. The Edwards kid at Purdue can put up 30 himself.
No, I've seen
But Old Dominion's going to slow that game down. George, we saw it at St. Mary's. And Purdue, if that Purdue starts missing, because they shoot all threes.
I know
That's
what
all they
they
play.
do. Yes.
If they start missing, you know how that was background.
I know
The
exactly.
backgrounds.
No,
That's another
this
one.
is the one where they go, oh, we're switching over here. There's the 30. And
Slow
they're
scoring
dancing.
game.
Yeah.
Slow. That's Jeff Jones, who coached at Virginia. Had cancer all year, and it's been a great story for Old Dominion. It's another thing. When you have somebody playing for a different reason, the team,
boy.
they're trying to back him up.
Oh,
there's a lot of teams there's a lot of upsets that can happen in this tournament.
Villanova, St. Mary's.
Another one.
You got Jay Wright with a pedigree, but you got this guy at St. Mary's. He showed me that third Gonzaga game. He's a coach.
Oh, if you beat Gonzaga, why can't you beat Villanova?
Well,
You know, does that makes a lot of sense?
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
common sense.
Yeah, so there's some games that could go either. I mean, go with the upper seed, the 16s, 11, the 12s, they can win these games, no question about that. There's another
Cincinnati
one.
and Iowa. I love Mick Cronin.
There's
You know
there's
that.
another
I'll
one.
admit it.
Cincinnati won the tournament, so you know they don't have them rated high. It's hard to believe you win your tournament and you're a 7th seed.
That's 28th, in
Yeah,
other words.
yeah. So they don't have, and I don't either. And you're talking about a team that can score is Iowa. There's no reason why Iowa can't.
How about
win
where
this
that
game.
dude pulls up from them?
And it's in
Parking lot.
Yeah, and
Oh,
bad
geez.
matchup for Cincinnati because they like to slug it out.
Okay.
And they're playing a team that can fire. So yeah.
How about Tennessee and Colgate? Give me your thoughts.
men? Chloe's going to see men on that floor. When they're warming up, they're going to look down the other end thinking, "Wow, what is
The Big
Tennessee?"
Admiral or whatever
Yeah,
his name is.
they're really.
He looks
they're
like
really
he just
big.
come out of the
Yes,
weight room
yes.
to play some pickup.
Yes.
All right, now here's the thing. Tennessee is a 2. What do you think? If you were looking for somebody, is that where they belong?
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's where they belong. No question
Okay,
about
so
that.
they got no complaints.
Yes.
Makes sense. How about Midwest Carolina and Iona? Are the Gales in for one
Well,
of
they
those
really run.
98, 70?
They
Oh,
run.
they're not going to run Carolina.
Yeah, that's why they play.
Oh,
And
I could see that.
it's
ball
really hard
flying.
playing Carolina at that pace. Because nobody runs any better. But it should be. It's the number 1 playing number 16. I mean, you don't think they're supposed to
You
be
know
close.
what? When I heard these guys talking about it, I was thinking in my mind, Iona in my mind reminds me more of a 15.
Yeah, they have been. in the
I don't
past.
think they're one of the 4.
In the past they have been.
Not this year.
This is not a good idea.
Then they're good.
Yeah, this ain't a good idea.
Now, how about Utah State? They're in vogue.
Yeah, they better be because they're going to play against that zone. And there's nothing worse than coming into a game, and you haven't seen it all year. And Syracuse has been famous now it's in Washington.
I mean, it starts out at 2-3, but it's
never
not.
2-3.
No,
So they're
it's
trying to
not.
figure out how to
I
score
looked
against
the
them.
other night, they were playing Washington. They were playing Oregon or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it appeared almost to be a 1-3 with a guy floating, but not a pure 1-3. They were matched
they
up.
go in that kind of-
It
they do.
was not a 2-3.
They extended tremendously.
No.
Utah State had a great finish, beating San Diego State in the finals. Washington zone is what worries me about that one. If Utah State is coached up and can score against it, because Washington is not a good team, George. They're not a good team.
I was not impressed
They're not a
the
good
other
team.
night. Let's talk about Kansas. Which Kansas is coming? Is it the one that laid the eggs in the middle? Then they got a little stronger at the end, got run out of by Iowa State. Obviously, a lot of injuries, but they are a blue blood program.
Yeah, they are blue blood deluxe, and they're gonna play fast too. But they're playing a talented team too. Northeastern, these seeds that are down there are really good. That game will go one of 2 ways: Kansas by 30, or putting it on at the end. Northeastern coming down with the last shot, and what you have to look at that one close. Northeastern's really
I think
good.
I'll be taking some points in
Northeastern's
this thing.
good. Oh no,
Giving
They
me
can-
the old
they
2
can.
chances to
Oh
win.
yeah, I
we have
agree.
an old philosophy when we're not sure. You take the points, you have 2 chances
Yeah, you
to
do.
win.
Yes.
You can win the game, or anytime you get a dog that can win the game, that's a great bet. Auburn, I hear a lot about New Mexico State, a lot of good.
Well, they are every year coming in, but they always lay eggs. I mean, because they don't play anybody.
That's the problem.
It's so hard. I know they win the
Who did they
championship.
beat? Washington or Washington State? They beat somebody good out there.
Yeah,
But
but
not
that
enough
league's
of 'em.
weak. That
Yeah,
league's
that league's
Washington.
weak.
That league's so weak.
I didn't think. Okay.
Auburn is playing really good basketball right now. Really good basketball, and coming in playing great. That's one favorite I think will win. I think Auburn will win this game against North.
Do you see him parading around there? And,
That's your boy. You call me right away.
well,
Bruce Pearl's famous for
well,
it.
I see his assistant taking a plea bargain for giving people bags of money.
Yeah, we have a hard time believing.
I don't.
We do. Well, we'll say what we believe. We have a hard time believing the head coach does not know that the assistant is giving him money. We think
Well,
the head
whose
coach,
money is he giving? Let's start. Was that your money? It wasn't my money.
No.
Because there's too much.
Yeah, the head coach seems like he knows you know everything. And in this area, Auburn, Bruce Pearl ends up with gold again. The crowd's packed up. They're
screaming,
He told the AD straight out. Told the AD and the president, "I'm not talking to you about what happened. How about most guys get fired immediately?
On the spot.
He's gonna be cheered again.
He's going to be governor of Alabama.
Yes,
Then Alabama didn't make the tourney.
right.
Let's talk Houston, who we were all over early. Georgia State, that's that guy that coached that year in the boot, and he won the game, and he
Good.
fell down.
Another
His
good
kid
team.
played. That's a good.
Oh
I
my
saw them the
gosh.
other day.
Good.
They didn't look too bad
They're
to me.
very good. They won 24, 25 games. And Houston might be salty coming out of that game against Cincinnati. So that's what you got to
Yeah,
watch.
they could be salty.
Because
You're right.
they want to really play. But I do like Georgia State as a team. I mean, I just don't know if they can play with Houston.
Yeah, that's your. How about Iowa State? Ohio State, quiet. I don't know. I'll be honest. I bet I didn't see 4 games of Ohio. Normally, I see them all
Right.
the time. They didn't catch my eye when I did watch it.
Defend crazily. They play like great. They're young. They're super young. Iowa State is the most talented team going that is not in top 4 seeds. They got 4 pros, and they fight like crazy. Now, George.
I heard a guy say today, if they guard, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, no, they can't. I said they fight though. I'm talking. They had a fight between each other's just 2 weeks ago.
Well, then you can't.
No, that's the craziest thing. Their freshman pouts when he doesn't get the ball because he's a talented kid, thinks he get the ball most. Iowa State's the hardest one to judge in this tournament. 4 NBA players can play beat anybody, but you're never sure they might only get by Ohio State.
Wofford, Seton Hall. Wofford's one of those
Never beat anybody good.
Vogue picks.
They never beat anybody
They
good.
got to win, right?
And they're favored by 2.5. But if I knew Seton Hall was playing really good, I'd take Seton Hall in this
Take
game.
the Big East team
Because
with the
Wolford,
pedigree.
they haven't beat. Now they play them, but they don't beat them. You know, if you're,
That's that old
you know what
thing.
I'm saying?
I remember years ago, a guy said, they played so-and-so. Guy said, who'd they beat?
Yeah, that's important.
I don't care if they played.
Because I know Wolford had a sensational year, undefeated in their league. I mean, they were. But when you're looking at who did they beat the top powerhouse team? They did not.
Let's talk about Kentucky. Abilene Christian. And Den and he got on there last night and have the nerve. The nerve. Now, he's got 40 guys in the pros with 3 or 4 more
That's your boy,
waiting.
Cal.
And he said
You
they're
always-
good. They shoot a lot of threes. I wanted to jump through that TV, that phony.
Yeah, Kentucky's moving on in this one. You know, I don't know that Abilene Christian's not going to play with the Kentucky Blue Bloods. So that you're losing that one. Abilene Christian's going home. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I know they're
Let's
going home.
talk about this area. Kentucky, not much in the way. Kansas, this isn't old Kansas.
Not at all. Not at all. And their injuries, they would have been. As George said, they're hurt. They're not the same
And
team coming
Kentucky
out.
on the 2 line, eventually that would be a nice, regional final.
Well, that'd be great if it happened. Now, you know, there's upsets all happen all over the place, though. But if you want to see a great regional final, Kentucky and North Carolina, up and down the floor, that'll be nice. Yes.
You think that the Houston kid, Quebec, Cincinnati put a little beating on them?
Yeah, remember I said that. I said they're the team. Them and Iowa State are the 2 teams you're looking at.
That's
this thing.
Calvin Sampson.
Yep, he's a known cheater too.
He's been known to use the cell phone a little more. Let's look at Gonzaga. Now, I saw Fairleigh Dickinson last week against St. Francis.
Yeah,
You know, the bigs are 6'6", 6'7". And
that's the guards for Gonzaga.
I just got to think Gonzaga.
Well, that's why they're 16.
Being salty after losing to St. Mary's, that this could be a
That will
25.
be. Yeah, if I picked a game that I think would go to 50 points, that'd be the one.
One of those you just switch.
Yeah, I think Gonzaga's going to be ahead like 47-17 at halftime or something. That's one blowout.
Yeah, I saw them play St. Francis, and then I find out St. Francis scrimmage Pitt Johnstown.
That's it, 47-17. That's what I see.
Syracuse Baylor.
Once
Talking
again,
about
same thing.
Boeheim's
I like Baylor's Drew as a coach, but guys, he's playing that zone defense again. When you're playing against that zone defense, it's really hard, and that's what they're doing. I said Syracuse and Washington play. Boeheim is always the toughest out, George, because of that defense he plays.
Boeheim. You want to play against that zone in one of
No.
them big pits? See, they don't play. Someone said to me the other day about arenas. I said, no, they play in stadiums. Mm-hmm. You're missing it.
Yes.
Those baskets are sitting down in the middle of nowhere. Like there's
Oh
nothing
yeah, you're shooting.
behind
You're
them.
thinking, man, where's the rim?
Yeah,
at?
where's the rim?
They don't see the
where's
rim.
the back? Florida State, Vermont, the Catamounts have been known. They got upset last year by UMBC, but I know they played
That's why you know the league's
Kentucky a
good.
tough
That's why you
game.
know the league's good.
Good point.
See, Florida State's really talented, but they never blow anybody out. No. Vermont,
But
once
man,
again,
are they now? They mean looking.
they got about 10.
Florida
of them, too.
State.
The team that has the most depth in the tournament is Florida State. They bring their 12th guy, looks like their first guy. And that's, you never know. If you're scouting and thinking, which one of these guys is going to beat me tonight? Vermont, a scary 13 again. Don't think this is going to be that easy for Florida State. No question about that.
No, I would agree 100% because I think it's one of those games where Vermont will test themselves. They'll go to Kentucky. They'll play some
Yeah,
people.
they did.
That's the old timer, that guy that has the radio show every Saturday morning. He was there forever.
Brenneman, Tom
Brenneman
Brenneman,
did
yeah,
a
he
nice
was.
job. Now, Marquette, I've seen that guy go for 50.
Yeah, Howard
I've
can
seen
score.
him go for 50.
And he's playing this guy on the other team and go for 60 months. So there's two Division One.
Now, there's a game, if you want to see NBA draft picks without watching Duke.
One-on-one play at the guard spot. And
They won't guard you.
And Murray State has done this to a million teams.
The Racers are
Don't
called.
think they can't be. Once again, another team that can beat Marquette. Murray State can and play them to sleep and not even think about being scared of them because their point guard can take over the game.
Howard 25 a game, Jay Moore 24-6, dead even. Howard played the better people. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, but I think Morant's the better player.
Okay.
I've seen them both play.
He's filthy athletic.
Oh
I've
my
seen
gosh.
him jump over
Oh yes.
guys. And
Oh yes, and he can shoot.
throw the ball
So you
down.
can shoot it and throw it down. Yeah, Morant's gonna be a. Oh my, that's a great game to see. Hopefully, you can put that one on. Marquette and Murray State is a good game to watch. Texas Tech, Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky had some teams beat. Had Kentucky beat at the half, so you know they're
Texas Tech will D up.
That's YSU's league.
That dude will D up.
Yeah, Texas Tech and Houston, the two teams coming out salty. Texas Tech got beat up by West Virginia. Tells you they played lousy that game because West Virginia wasn't any good.
they were no
But I would say the two teams that are coming in this thing, one to prove will be Texas Tech and Houston.
Now here's the cool guys pick. Buffalo. Play the winner, Arizona State, St. John's. St. John's doesn't belong in it in the first place. You can argue about Arizona State. But Buffalo's just waiting.
I'll have them.
And generally, when you hear this game, like to the novice, he thinks, well, Arizona State and St. John's, they're better than Buffalo. No.
Well, I'm hoping St. John's wins because I don't think St. John's will be in Buffalo's class. Arizona State scares me a little bit because they guard a little more. So that's what I think. Buffalo's really good. They're number 6. I thought they should have been a 4. I thought that they had an unbelievable year. They'll play with anybody. They proved it last year. They knocked out a great Arizona team early. They have the same team back.
They beat them up too.
Yeah, I really like Buffalo, but I'm not the only one.
No,
I think most people don't like Buffalo.
No, Nevada, Florida. I think for Nevada, it's a tough pick because Florida, you know what Florida can do.
Yeah, they won a game in the tournament. They almost beat Auburn. Yeah. Nevada's interesting. That Musselman coaches them like a pro team, and I think that's what happened. They were undefeated. They wanted to be undefeated all year. Kept fighting for that, and when they lost, George, they lost their moxie and they stopped playing.
They did.
They stopped playing.
Matter of fact, he took a thing out yesterday on Twitter talking about what they accomplished. And I could tell he was trying to
regroup them.
Basically pull them back up and say, hey, fellas, we're pretty good, but we didn't play.
It's going to be interesting to see what the line in that game is. I don't know who's going to be favored. We'll see what happens, see what the line is.
Michigan and Montana, the Big Sky, you better play.
And they do. The Big Sky plays. And that's why every year they come in and give teams trouble too. Michigan is one of those teams that defends like crazy. He was always an offensive coach, hired a defensive coordinator, and has done the job. They'll try to hold them in the 30s. That's the way they're going to play. They'll try to win 60-some, 30-some. It's Michigan's new style.
We got about 8-10 minutes. We'll take apart the regions. But first, let's look at the bids. Big Ten gets 8.
Yes.
See, I'd like to see them have 6 and go grab another Lake Lipscomb.
So would I. Because I don't think Ohio State was no guarantee.
They won't do it.
Yeah, but let's come just to know of the year though. See, sometimes there is teams that really had the year. Like NC Greensboro was the last team left out.
Yeah,
they just didn't beat anybody. If you just win one game against somebody, good, and you have a chance to get in that thing.
Now the ACC and the SEC was 7. I think the ACC should be 2 leagues, like an East and a West or a North.
Too many teams, it is.
Too many good. When you name 5 teams and you haven't come to Notre Dame or Clemson or NC State yet, something's wrong.
And NC State's the maddest team, but they have the second worst schedule in the country. Guys, if you want, you can't play that.
No, they tell you. Say, Albert, if you want in this tournament, go play somebody.
Especially if you're NC State. You can play anybody you want to play.
Yeah.
They play the second worst schedule in the country. That stinks.
Let's look at the regions. You got the Zags out here. What do you see going on?
Here's our
Boeheim in the early rounds, we know.
Yes, he's always been the guy in the early rounds. And Gonzaga's ended up playing them. Gonzaga's seen it before and had trouble against it. George always says, why won't they get the ball in the middle? That's because they're so darn long and so darn big.
Yeah, it looks like it's open. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
but I know when you
I
remember that one guy from Kansas taking that corner shot. Here comes this dude Zion style and smacks it into the stands.
Yeah, I really like Buffalo coming out of this region. I do. I mean, Gonzaga's going to play. I think Buffalo can beat any of these teams. I think the Oats has them fired up for that. They're a great number 6. I think they'll beat Arizona St. John's, especially St. John's, as I said. Look out for Buffalo in this region for me. That's what
in the South. Let's talk a little bit about that. The thing about these teams, to go against this chalk, you're going to have to play several good games.
Right.
Because it's not just, you could knock somebody out. Then the next day, a day and a half later, you're looking out and there's Virginia down there.
And that's the problem. 5 or 6. That's why you have to win 5 or 6 games. In these leagues that some of these teams are playing, they got one big game and then they have a week off. There's no week off, guys. You got to be ready to play. Virginia, as George says, is going to be salty after last year, and they play a lot. They score a lot of points. As I said, Gardner-Webb is a nice team for a 16. That's a nice team, but Virginia still has to be looking at last year. George thinking,
oh, they're embarrassed. And the other night they get beat up by Florida State.
Yes, they did. Oh, Florida State's
they're
way more athletic than them. Way more.
I know.
Way more.
I know.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I'm looking. I say, and all I ever hear about with the coaches. Do coaches love anyone more than Tony Bennett? The other coaches.
Oh no, and
he's a gentleman.
Yeah, and Arizona
does it right, doesn't cheat.
Yeah, and he's always done it at a school that doesn't have to get the best.
And he
players.
never makes excuses. Like last year when he lost to UMBC, he didn't use one of Calipari's excuses.
Yeah, I don't know if he likes being at those schools, but he's not at the blue blood schools. You understand? No. You're not getting the best players at Virginia.
No,
that's just the way it is.
Academics.
So he does a great job there. He's a great coach. I don't think there's anybody ever says that there's not.
How about the Midwest? You got Carolina and Kentucky in the same region.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. We talked about that. That'd be a great finish. Carolina is playing tremendous. Utah State's not going to be scared of them if they happen to win that first game. They're playing outstanding. Auburn and Kansas will be interesting if that Kansas wins, because I think Auburn will beat Kansas. I think Auburn will take them out. Everybody's a Kansas person.
If you're watching Auburn and Carolina, it's going to be like this.
You're going
to have to hold your neck still.
Yeah, whoever plays Carolina and you try to run with them,
no, you're getting beat.
It's really going to be the fastest game of the day because no one gets the ball in quicker on a make.
Watch on a make.
Yep.
That's what we like. How about we got the big boys down there. The big kid looks like he's really hitting his stride, Zion. What was it going to take? Now, there are 2 bugaboos. Their foul shooting and their 3 shooting say they're going to get down.
Yeah, the stats say the teams never win when they shoot like that. But this is a different Duke team with regards to all number 1 picks. This reminds you of the Kentucky teams they used to have and go into the finals. If you're picking against Duke, then you have a lot of guts. You're saying they're not going to shoot good this day because if they happen to, for 6 games they shoot good, they're cutting down the nets. They're the best team. I don't question that at all. Michigan State's going to bat if they get there. They're going to bat them with rebounding. They're going to be physical with them. But I still don't think they match up with. No one does match up with Duke when they're playing their best, George. When they're playing their very best.
No. The only thing the stats say no threes in the foul line, but
no. If they shoot like that, they can lose. Yeah. I mean, but that's like saying if the other team shoots like that.
Yeah.
Duke is super talented with Burnett and Zion Williamson. You're talking about two of the top 3 guys going into pros.
I heard a guy talking about him the other day. He said he's better than Barkley, and it was one of Barkley. He said, I know Charles was good, he said, but this guy's bigger.
He is bigger even.
He's stronger, and he jumps higher.
Yeah, he does. He backs in and jumps into your chin, and you get a.
Even if he misses, he's right over you for the rebound without foul. The game he beat Carolina on, he missed the shot.
Yeah, he's so quick off the ground for a 280-pound guy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he's so much different.
40 seconds. Give me the way to tournament according to Al Campman. Who's going to win?
Well, it's a favorite tournament to me, and I hate that's what everybody says. But I looked at and I can only see favorites. I don't see how it could not be. Duke and Carolina, Gonzaga, and Virginia's the one team I'm going to take out.
Taking them out.
I'll take them out.
You're going with history.
And I'll open that division up. I'll open that one up. But I just think those 3 teams are better than everybody else. Usually I have a major upset, somebody doing something.
They're early this year.
Yeah, I just think those. And I'm looking at, I told Kansas State, if Wade's back, then they're very good. And I really like Buffalo. I told you I don't like Buffalo's team.
You heard it here. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk.